And welcome to this episode of New Londinium 1910, my steampunk world, where at the moment I'm building a quote-unquote temporary base from which I will be able to support all my future operations. But if you've been watching the series for a while, you are probably well aware that this has been an endeavor that has been in the process for a few episodes now. And I really, really want to get it done. But we're kind of at a crossroads here because I still have another floor to put in and then an attic level. And these levels obviously have lots of room for windows, and the windows I'm using are the innate windows from the Create mod, which look fabulous, by the way. But the point is they require some iron, and I'm kind of running low on iron. So as much as I want to stay in in here working on this place, I think I need to go mobile and find a local deep dive cave system where I can easily grab 10 or 12 or 20 iron ore so that I could continue the current project without any problems. But we'll see how that goes. I'd really like to avoid that if at all possible. And I don't quite remember the formula. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Huh. And that's it. I was close, but not close. Close in the most abstract way possible, I suppose. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to get us close enough. I mean, that's a lot of pains. I guess you can say it was a painful experience. Anyway, well, let's give it a shot, shall we? Let's see how far that gets us, and then if it doesn't get us far enough, then I will have to go get some iron. Get my daily dose of iron. And it's compounded, of course, because on this upper floor, the upper floor extends out one block, and therefore there's slightly more wall. And because of the way it worked out, it was actually pretty easy to add wider windows. So it compounded my problem in that for this floor, I need even more windows than I did for the floor below. See, my compost is almost ready to be integrated into the garden. So I'm almost out, and I got a little over halfway around, and of course that's just the first layer, I need a second layer. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Gonna have to go walkabout. And I'm carrying a bunch of stuff that I don't necessarily need to carry or want to carry with me on this little trip. Huh. I didn't know I had those in there, but it's not going to be enough. I really need to get this done so that we can get our proper storage set up. And let's put this stuff away. Let's deal with these panes. Get them out of my inventory. Make room for all that valuable fat loot we're gonna find in the cave. Don't know if that's true, but gotta keep a positive frame of reference. You know, that is true though. Hope is a very powerful thing. It's hope has pulled people through situations that by rights they never should have made it through. So anybody who gives you grief for being an optimist, well, you don't have to take that. And got a straw from that, but just one seed. Just that's kind of a ripoff. I'm being selective here, as you know, because at the moment I'm really after that straw. Straw is very useful stuff right now. Well, it's useful stuff all the time. I mean, unless this is your first episode of any of my series, I'm sure you've heard me talk about rich soil and rich farmland ad nauseum, but there's some other cool stuff you can do with the straw as well. You can make rope, which is useful, and in fact I might make some relatively soon, because rope is kind of like, well, it's almost exactly like scaffolding, except that when you put down scaffolding and it reaches upwards, rope you tie off someplace and it stretches downwards. But otherwise it has a lot in common with scaffolding. So I prefer the scaffolding, but as you may have noticed, there is no jungle biome anywhere around me. So the rope it is, right? Or rope might be just my only choice, to put it more bluntly. Okie dokie. Save that for later. Actually maxed out on wheat. That's kind of painful at the moment, but it's probably the best thing to do. Okay. I thought I had a anvil, but apparently I don't have an anvil. Don't have one squirreled away either. Okay. I mean, a sword with sweeping edge 2 and vorpal 2, that would be pretty sharp. Yes. I was careful to caffeinate at the optimum time so that I'm somewhat wired and prepared to face, well, whatever faces me out here. Which is probably a massive dose of hay fever. Well, you know, now that I've gone this far away from the house, I realize that there is a big cave system directly due east of the house. I don't need that. But I'm here, and, you know, it's Minecraft, so chances are pretty good that there's some type of big cave system, or medium cave system, or teeny cave system, but there's something over here. Speaking, there you go. A teeny cave system. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. I mean, no iron. There's some of these stones that you need, or blocks you need, type stones. We'll figure out what to do with those soon. Oh yeah, this is the stuff that comes off in little blocks or blobs. Gotta figure out what to do with that stuff. Some copper up there. Okay, some coal. Take my torches back. Oh, kind of dark down there. Asphalt, pitch, tar. I don't like this place. I don't know if I can do anything with this stuff. I don't want to. Well, we know roughly where this cave is, so. Whoa. That gave us a bunch of zinc from the create mod. Kind of a weird layout. I mean, it's kind of a weird haul. If this is all good stuff, which the jury's out on that, then it's a decent haul, but there you go. Don't leave burning torches in strange places unattended. Well, as a general rule of thumb, don't leave any torch any place unattended. Because only you can prevent, you know, Minecraft fires. So, there we go. This looks promising. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. So we can get down there. So first step is to figure out how I want to get down there. I'll probably create stair steps in the dirt like this. I threw that torch up there to kind of show where the top of the stairs will be, because for all I know I might come out after dark. And then I'll put a torch at the bottom of the stairs so that if I'm trying to escape, I know where to head. There we go. Diorite's good stuff. It's a beautiful block in its own right. Plus, you can use it with cobblestone to make andesite, and this is a crate-based world, so can't have too much andesite. So it looks like we got the blue shrooms down there. I dropped too far. There we go. Make sure I have an escape route if I have to. See some strange block types here and there. Oh, copper's not strange, but there are plenty of actual bona fide strange block types running around here. Nice. I'm actually surprised there's not like a bunch of beasties running around out here on the edge of the dark. I mean, one of the reasons I'm not real fond of caving is, you know, because there are entire creeper patrols, right? Squads of creepers. And at the moment, I don't see any. Zero. Not a Nick 9. Nil. Niente. Plenty of coal. Plenty of copper, actually. More than I really want at the moment. Still kind of surprised I haven't seen much iron yet. I wouldn't say that's much, but it's some. Oh, mud. Kind of dark in here. There we go. Yeah. See some silver up there. Salt. Make sure I have an escape path out of here. A couple skeletons, and I have 4 arrows. No. Nice. Ooh. Okay, that's more than 2. That's much more than 2. This is what I'm looking for. Oh, whoa, whoa. Not cool. Ooh. Am I that deep already? I guess it's possible. Oh, more iron. When they redistributed the ores, you know, that of course was at the same time that they did caves and cliffs, or cliffs and caves, or whatever they call it. And, you know, iron is really, really common at higher altitudes, right? So I'd go looking for, you know, big, tall, snow-covered peaks. And, oh, there's one I missed. 2 I missed. More than I missed. Anyway, okay. I would go looking for these high, snow-covered peaks. And then they, on the outside, it looked like everything was fine, but it was pretty much gutted on the inside. You know, I would basically do strip mining up to the outer layer of the mountain. So yeah, it was one big hollowed out shell, but I mean, I was pulling out literally hundreds of iron ore nuggets, or whatever you want to call them. And that's good. Now, something I got going in this world, which I'm in no way, shape, or form ready to take advantage of yet, but I have an add-on to the Create mod called Create Ore Extraction, and basically, separate from the traditional world generation, we have all sorts of actual identified ore veins, right? Now, these ore veins aren't technically in the game world, right? So you can't tunnel them and find them. Technically, they're considered below bedrock, which puts them out of reach, kind of, because what you do is there's a special device that you use to detect the ores, and that's a whole process and game unto itself. But if you can find one of these ores, then you can build a create enabled extraction device. Now these puppies use a lot of power, and I'm pretty sure by default these ore nodes are infinite. Now that might not be true for all of them. I'm pretty sure it's true for at least most, if not all. But see, here's the thing, right? I had this in Griffin Manor, and in the case of Griffin Manor, I had 3 iron ore nodes, you know, just like, I don't know, 10 chunks away, 5 chunks away from the Griffin Manor. And I set those up, and I was just bringing in an insane, I threw up some windmills, but I was bringing in an insane amount of iron. Even better than that was I actually found one of these seams for coal right on the premises, right on the estate. And so in the level that I'd set up as my workshop and storeroom, I actually built an entrance to a mine, and I put these extractors in there and I powered them up. And you can pull multiple extractors on a single vein, so that's what I did. And I had a bunch of steam engines down there, and so the beauty was the steam engines gave me the power to activate these extractors, and I had 3 of them, and enough power to activate them and keep them running at a high speed, which meant they were pumping out coal like nobody's business. But the steam engines required a lot of coal. But the thing is the whole system, once it was up and running, was generating so much coal. There was enough coal to keep the engines running all the time, and actually a considerable excess. And so it got dropped directly into the storage system, and I could just walk by and, in a 1 or 2 hour session, the number of coal I had in reserve grew by a couple thousand. Right? So I was going to get to a point where I was going to have coal coming out of my ears and nose and everywhere else, and nothing to do with it. So, that was, between that and the iron, that was pretty awesome. But then, the experiment that led to me discovering that 1.20.1 was where I wanted to be, and so here I am. But I got to tell you, having a world with infinite coal and infinite iron, that was probably one of the biggest draws that was tugging at me not to start a new series in this new world, right? In this new version of Minecraft. That was a pretty powerful motivator. But you can see I'm here, so it wasn't powerful enough, right? It had limits. Okay, this should be enough by far. We don't need to make them all, but this should do it. Okay, so the field trip's out of the way. It's back to work. And what a bunch of work we got to do. Now, I think I'm running low on my deep slate cobble, and that's important because you can see that the fireplaces are going to require more work as I build upward, and I just don't think I have the deep slate to cover it. So, I don't think I'll do it this episode, but sometime soon I'll need to make another run to New Londinium itself and go down that central shaft and excavate a bunch more deep slate cobble from the bowels of the earth. Or whatever planet this is. I always assume it's Earth, but it's Minecraft and blocks of stone don't fall and stuff. So, one can make a strong argument that this isn't Earth. Well, besides the fact that it is, what was the size of it? It's like, I don't remember. The virtual Minecraft world actually isn't quite infinite. It does have a limit, but if you take that limit, I think it's equal to like 7 Earths. So, yeah, that's plenty of room for everyone. And then some. Okay. So this central staircase, of course, has become a very important piece of the build. It's how I get up and down this thing. Now, there are a lot of options coming up, right? So, I mean, you can see I've pretty much made my decision about the walls and the windows. But as we get closer to finishing this level, there's some new questions that come up. And, you know, it's not going to happen this episode, so that gives you some time to chime in the comment section if you feel so inclined. But one of the first things to think about is the roof. Now, I'm going to do a gabled roof, and if you don't know what a gabled roof is, basically it's the traditional type of roof that every 5-year-old draws on their house. You know. So it's just, you know, the roof with the peaked top. That's a gabled roof. And we're going to do that. That fits with this architectural style. And, you know, based on where I am and everything else going on here, that will be made out of dark oak. But there's, you know, if I just do just the roof, it'll look okay, but it will look kind of boring, right? So we're going to have some living space up there under the roof. And that's when you have these things called dormers. Now, I'm sure you've seen them. You just probably didn't know that's what they were called. But sometimes you see somebody have a gabled roof, and then kind of sticking out of the gabled roof is like a little piece of wall with a window and its own little gabled roof sticking out of the side of the bigger gabled roof. Those are dormers. And I fully expect to make some of those, right? I think they look great. They help break up the line so you wouldn't have too much roof. Plus, like you said, I want to put some... I want to put some living space up there, so nobody wants to live or hang out in a room that has no windows, especially when you're in the upper floor, because you know you have some of the best views in the house. So yeah, we'll put in some dormers, and that'll help break up the lines and make things look good, plus more livable and enjoyable for time spent upstairs. But even aside from that, there's a lot of questions about stuff down here. For example, what about window treatments, right? Now, I tried to be very generous with windows, which means in most cases there's only a block separating windows, right? One block wide. And where that comes into play is that I have most of the Macaw's decoration and architectural mods, and they have these really great looking window shutters. Actually, they have a number of different window dressings, but right now I'm talking about the outside of the house with these window shutters. They look great and they actually work, so that's a double plus. But the problem is you know, you would need one on each side of the window, and I could do one window no problem, but then, you know, in the cases where two windows are separated by only one block, that shutter would only cover one window or the other. So Don't think I'll be able to do much as far as window shutters. However, there are a number of other treatments like window flower boxes. And actually, I have a couple different mods that offer solutions toward those. And for buildings like this, I love window boxes full of flowers. Now, that particular trait, style, feature, it's not tied exclusively to any one culture, but it is really, really prevalent in a lot of the old, Germanic open timber frame buildings like this, especially the ones in southern Germany, right? Flower boxes and stuff like that. In Austria too. So while this is predominantly a British themed world, I'm really thinking I would like to put flower boxes under most, if not all, the windows, right? I think that'd look good. But the Macaws mod also offers a number of window dressings for inside. And truthfully, I've never really spent much time exploring those. So this, I think, would be an opportunity to do exactly that. I know they have some things like blinds and curtains and drapes and stuff. And it's the Macaws mod, so 90% of it is functional, right? So I'd really like to see just how functional it is. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a whole bunch of deco mods, and I have a whole bunch of furniture mods, so that shouldn't be a problem. Well, I'll take that back. It is a problem in that the sheer variety becomes a problem, right? I mean, you have so many options, and some of these mods I've used pretty extensively, like Domnum Ornamentum. Yeah, I used the snot out of that one in Griffin Manor and some of my practice worlds, but some of the others like Perry's Decorations and Mr. Crayfish's refurbished furniture mod, stuff like these, yeah, I have pretty much zero experience with them, which is ironic in that like Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod, the refurbished one, has been in mod packs I've used for the past year and a half, and I didn't do much with them. There's just so many choices and so little time. Anyway, I do have enough of these to make the slabs I need, and I need a few more blocks to cap. And more glass. Ornate glass. I mean, since I'm down here. So, a couple more blocks. Plunk, plunk, and the glass. So that's looking pretty good. I mean, look at those windows. Those windows look great. And now we can prevent besides this detail making the fireplace look better, it also prevents us from accidentally strolling into the campfires, which are technically not campfires, they're fireplace fires. And I love the sound of the footsteps on this wooden floor, though. For the record, when I personally walk around, it doesn't sound like that. Now, all three of the women I live with, yes, that's what it sounds like when they clop around our house. And that's unfortunate because my little recording setup, gaming rig, is all down in the basement. So one of the reasons I record late at night is because they all went to bed and the clopping around the house is minimal. Unless somebody's sleepwalking. So, yeah, but I swear, I truly do swear, if you ever come to the house, hang out in this basement, everybody starts walking around upstairs, you will absolutely want to bet money that I've got a class of 4th graders hopped up on caffeine and sugar upstairs bouncing around, or that somebody's playing catch with 50-pound bags of cement and missing. Because, man, it's just like a herd of elephants out there tap dancing. It does make it useful, though. I'm probably the last one to go to sleep at night, and I'm usually the first one to wake up in the morning. That's just how I'm wired. But on the weekends, well, most weekend days, I wake up early, and they like to sleep in. So that is how I know, because they thump so loud that not only can I hear them when they're on the floor above, but I can hear them thumping around on the floor above that. And so, that's when I know I gotta stop doing whatever I'm doing, which is probably fun, playing a game or working on the website, and then go make breakfast because everybody's up, or they're in the process of getting up. And to a woman, all 3 of them swear that they don't make a lot of noise when they walk. Okay. No problem. Just like, I'll just tell you, I snore. I snore loud. And when we go traveling, even the girls wear earplugs because we're all in the same room, right? So I always snore, and they give me grief. I can't tell you how much grief I get and teasing about my snoring. But you see, my wife used to kind of give me grief on it with this kind of like air of superiority, right? It's like, well, you snore, you are flawed, you snore. And I tell her, you snore too. No, I don't. Oh, yes, you do. No, I don't. Okay. So, one of the times that we were on a trip, and I woke up early like I usually do, and she's sawing logs big time. I mean, she snores. Not like me, right? I mean, I probably can rattle windows, but she was snoring. There was no doubt in anybody's mind in that room that she snored. But everyone was asleep except my daughter Alexandra, woke up. And she was marveling at the fact that my wife was snoring, because it's like, yeah, she snores. So we broke out our iPhones and we recorded her snoring. And then when she woke up, we pulled out the evidence, said, you snore. She says, no, I don't. We played the recordings, and she basically said it was somebody else. She just cannot wrap her head around the fact that she snores. Especially after giving me grief about it. Like, it's a character flaw or something. I mean, it's physiology, but... And yeah, there's all these things you can do to try to fix it. What I really need to do is I probably need to check with the doctors and get set up for a sleep study, which to me, I mean, I understand how it works, but it's kind of wackadoodle because what you're trying to do is study how I sleep. But you're also making the assumption that when I'm in a weird hospital space with doctors and machines wired to me and monitoring everything I do, that I am going to sleep like I do normally, right? I mean, it's like, huh. So it's like, well, we found that you didn't sleep very well. Really? I wonder why that could possibly be. I mean, the 4 guys with the clipboards were awfully quiet, but whatever. So I'm not real hopeful that the effort would get me much. You know, what's kind of funny is, I mean, this isn't funny. This is just a good idea, but I'm taking these with me so I don't have to keep running downstairs. But what's kind of funny is that, you know, I have 3 Let's Play series, right? And this is one, and the Greifenhorst is the medieval one, and From the Rubble is the post-apocalyptic one. So, yeah, I've got different series going, and you've probably noticed that I kind of rotate amongst them, right? And the reason where I'm going with this is that I staggered these, right? So I did this series, and then it was like episode 5 or 6, I think, when I started the Greifenhorst series. And then I finished episode 3 of Greifenhorst when I started From the Rubble series. So they're staggered that way. And, you know, with about an hour an episode, it's interesting. All 3 are still very early stages of their respective game, but where I'm headed with all this is, here I am in New Londinium, and I'm still working on my base, but I've got a pretty sweet setup, right? I've got a nice farm outside, and I actually have quite a bit of mineral wealth and tools, and I even have the fancy schmancy enchanted tool using the enchantment infuser. So I was able to really go to town when I dug down to bedrock, as opposed to From the Rubble, where I just recently finished a backpack. And I'm so proud of it, right? And the backpack is only upgraded like 1 level, but it doesn't matter because it's a backpack and I got it already, finally, right? So it's just different. And I set them up to be different in other ways too, but and quite frankly, this is one of the reasons why I did all that, because I know me, right? I typically what would happen is, let's say New Londinium, right? I'd be working on New Londinium and I'd be happy as a clam. But I set up New Londinium because I'm going to build this big old steampunk city. So, the emphasis is on the create mod and the steampunk side of it. It's all about the building. So there's a lot of building and not a lot in terms of combat or crazy monsters or even a lot of extraneous structures. There's some, but that wasn't the emphasis, right? This isn't an adventuring world. This is going to be a showcase survival building world. But, but the point is you work on something like that for a while, and yeah, you're having fun and all, but sometimes you just want to go beat something up. Or sometimes, like I'm in a steampunk world, but sometimes you want to just get some magic spells. Fight a dragon. Do something different than what's going on here. Can I use these as stone? Nope. And so the problem is, in the past, I would wind up putting this world aside, and I'd open up a different world, and I'd start that, but then, you know, I'd get a ways into that one, then the novelty would wear off on that one, because now I want to do, like, pure combat world or whatever. And by the time I got back into my pure building mode again, I had all new ideas, and it was just easier or better to start from scratch. Well, I mean, honestly, that's how it used to work. But it doesn't work that way now, because these worlds are feeding these video series. Now, I've restarted video series a couple times because of technical issues. But in the end, you guys are holding me accountable, right? And because I'm rotating between all three of them, it's not like I fully get to whet my appetite on just the building or just the combat or just the fantasy, right? I get little slices, and it's fun. I mean, it's kind of like scratching all the different itches. I have, you know, different styles of back scratcher with different angles, and there you go. And so that part is pretty cool. Now, where it gets complicated is, you know, first of all, I don't get to play every single day, right? I mean, there's, because of the video and stuff, and because of work and family, I don't get to play every single day. And if I wasn't doing the videos, that wouldn't necessarily be the case. I probably get to play every single day, but this other stuff slows me down a little bit, and not in a bad way. Just it just does, right? But so I don't get to play quite as much as I want to, but that kind of helps keep the appetite primed, right? I don't really get a chance to wear myself out. So it really is, or has turned out to be, a great way of approaching this. Certainly works for me. Okay. So this is the next floor, which will essentially be the attic type of deal. That is not what I meant to do. Maybe I'm over caffeinated. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't mean to bring up the map either. I don't know. I just washed my hands and can't do a thing with them. Okay. Getting dark soon. Getting dark soon. Obviously, I'm not going to finish this floor in this episode. Just still too much to do. But I think we made some good progress again. I mean, it's never as much as I would want or hope to have. And I just remembered that I picked up the architect table to bring with me, so I wouldn't have to go all the way downstairs to use it, but I went all the way downstairs to use it anyway. So, so here's the thing. If you're under 40, you're probably laughing at my expense. That's okay. You laugh. And if you're 40 or over, you're probably going, oh, I'm not the only one. And yep, that's true. It happens with increasing frequency. And, you know, when I was younger, I used to think, oh, you know, older people, they're just losing it, right? They can't focus. And that's why they forget stuff. As an older person, I'm telling you that absolutely is not the problem. The problem is I get too focused on one thing and everything else gets pushed out. So if something was kind of like on the sidelines, it's pushed right out of my brain, and you know, that leads to problems, which you just saw. And this is kind of like a particular challenge for me, because if you know, here's an experiment. If you're a creator, you've already done this, so don't worry. But if you are not a YouTube creator, I offer this. Why don't you open up a Minecraft world and just gab to the world while you play, exactly like I do. Just try it. And let's see how well you do with keeping track of stuff and paying attention to what you're doing. And then if you have problems with it and you're younger than me, well, just bear that in mind next time you chuckle at old grandpa moment here. But this is a challenge. And, you know, for all those creators out there who have ever done it, or even, first of all, to anybody who's tried it, you know, you have, you know, my heartfelt appreciation. I get you. I hear you. The fact that you tried it, kudos to you. For those who stuck with it and got better and better at it, double kudos for you. Amazing stuff. Good stuff. And for those who have done it for years and years and years and just got better and better at it, well, I want to be like you when I grow up. Great job. Fantastic. So, I was telling you about just, you know, how hard it is to be doing all this stuff and paying attention to what you're doing and you know, talking and blah, blah, blah. And while I was giving you this little lecture, I screwed up. So I have all the Macaw's mods loaded, and Macaw's roofs, I love Macaw's roofs. I love them dearly, and they're far superior to making roofs with stairs. You know, plain vanilla stairs. Except, while I was chatting and telling you how tricky this was, I made a bunch of stairs and started to install them as a roof. So, now I have way more stairs than I'll need in any time in the near or relatively near future. And that used a lot of wood. And I think that pretty much shot the end of the episode. So I know no beginning of a roof. Yeah. But that's what we'll be starting on next time. Except I'm gonna need more wood, right? So we'll get that going here. 48 plus 8 I need 56. Not enough. 54? Yep, 54 works. See? Divisible by 9, not 8. So. Solid concept 2. Block of copper. Okay. So what's a solid concept 1? So we can use these stairs and the furnaces for now. So I just need 4 of these for 36. 36 is 4 times 9, so 4 blocks of zinc. Okay. And a block of iron. Hold it. Solid concept. Hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Put this stuff away. Get this stuff out. So it's been a while since I explained this, but you know, using the cutting board like this, this is something that comes from Farmer's Delight. But when I first started doing this, I didn't realize you could do it the way I'm doing it now. And so what I was doing was I'd have the blocks in one hot spot or one spot on my hot bar, and I'd have the axe next to it on the hot bar. And so I would have to, I had this whole complex keyboard mouse combination where I'd put down a block, switch to the axe, whack it with the axe, and then go to a third one where I would then pick up the block and then go back to the first one to plop down the block. And it made my hands hurt, but it was complex, and once I started going, invariably I'd think about it too much and I'd screw up and it would be a mess. But that's what I did for a while. So let's take a look at my handiwork and wrap this up. Next time I don't have really any reason to leave the estate. I think I can just surge ahead, and best case scenario, I can get a roof on this puppy and then we can start working on the inside. But that's where we're at now, and I like it. So I hope you come back and join me next time, and that in the meanwhile, just find you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.